Hello. Welcome to episode 11 of season 1. Penultimate of this season.
Of this season,
Of this season of the Jedi and the Spark show. My name is Obi.
And I am Peju. And together we are
the Jedi
and the Spark. Wow, it feels like ages since we were last here recording. It feels like a month has gone by.
It has been a month.
It feels like ages. It feels like 10 months. 11 months. Episode 11. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
It is. And good to be back with you.
Yes, indeed. Moving on.
Okay.
Have you heard of the latest phenomenon?
Of course, yeah. AI and all of...
Not AI. The latest phenomenon in couples. Conversations,
AI
communication. No. So word's been going around that there are couples who feel like they are happier in their second marriage.
Wow. Okay.
Do you believe that?
Okay, you're not going to like this, but yes.
He believes it. We're going to cut the episode right now and just have our own crucial conversation. Time out.
Yeah.
Need to have a word with the Jedi.
Yeah. Because I think that... remember, in one of the previous episodes, you said, hey, your husband... You wrote this article. Your husband is married to a different woman. And so I think...
How does that even...
Yeah. Hey, work with me. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm trying to make the logic here.
Okay, all right.
That I think you can have a second marriage in your first marriage. It's like that second wind, right? Just on the other side of
digging himself
the
out
difficulty and the challenge. Have I done it? Have I done it? Yeah. That's the way
Interesting.
I see it.
Well, couples are saying, and this isn't for couples who've maybe lost a partner to death and have become widows or widowers, but there are couples who are saying second time round, they feel like they know themselves better. Okay. They feel like they know what they want and they have a stronger sense of who they are, who they need, and how to bring true happiness into the relationship, the marriage, second time round.
Okay, all right. So it's, hey, first time.
So many mistakes, rookie errors.
Yeah, rookie error, learnt the lesson, and then second time. And so I still stand by what I say in the sense that I believe it, but I believe it for the first one, that I think that you can work through and evolve. And remember, I also, a piece of advice that I in particular was given when we started, actually when we first got married, so when we early on in our marriage, that keep rediscovering your spouse. And so we do evolve, and sometimes it's hard for people to work through that evolution. Who am I becoming? Who have you become? And then enjoy it. But I think on the other side of working through that, there is that second wind and joy and all of that. So
joy. He has saved himself because this month we are celebrating 23 years of marriage.
23. Didn't leave you hanging this time.
Well, yeah, you learned your lesson the first time. 23 years of marriage. And I think what we're saying is you can get it right first time.
You can. Yeah, you can. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It doesn't mean you get it perfectly, but along the way, you evolve. But in that relationship, you can get it right.
Yes, you can get it right first time.
Yes.
And getting it right doesn't mean doing it perfectly. No. Well, we're moving on again. Third time moving on. Today's theme is not a phenomenon. It is a reality.
Okay.
It is something that every couple has gone through.
Okay.
Is going through.
Okay.
Or will go through.
All right. Say more.
Well,
the suspense is the suspense here.
It's grief.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're talking about grief.
You just said the G word.
Yes, I did. We're talking about grief today. And grief has come as an uninvited guest into so many homes and has wreaked havoc on families and broken up and broken apart many marriages. And so we thought we would go there and talk about grief today. In episode 11.
Yeah. And some are going to think, whoa, this is heavy. But this show is about equipping couples to thrive in all seasons. All seasons. So thrive in all seasons.
Yes.
And this is an important part. It's a reality, as you've said. It's a season that we'll all face. And so how do we navigate grief and still thrive and still stay together and actually get through it with a greater level of connection,
awareness,
and purpose, awareness, thriving through it all. So if we didn't cover this, then we would be ignoring something that's really significant.
I think so. So that is a good question. How could marriages navigate grief and loss
and pain?
And there's so many, right? There's so many losses that couples experience. Loss of health.
Indeed.
Loss of a child. Loss of work.
Yeah.
Loss of parents.
Yeah.
Loss of trust. Loss of community. Loss of identity in the relationship. And we never talk about these things on the Jedi and the Spark show because we're experts, right? Right.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, we're talking about these things because we deem them to be so important and so crucial for the thriving of relationships, and because we've experienced some of them. Losses.
Absolutely.
Is my fan okay? Are you looking at my fan?
Yeah, totally. Your fan's fine.
Right.
I was just thinking that absolutely, because we have, in fact, one of the reasons we're wearing this outfit, right, is because it actually represents, it's not just because we're looking, or we want to look cool.
And we do look fly.
Because we know we do. Anyway.
We're matching
but
again.
It's because we got these outfits, the whole family, when we were at the celebration of life for Dad last year.
Yes, last year. So this is
big loss.
Big loss, and this is special. We decided we'd wear this today to honor Dad's memory, to honor grief, the grief journey we're still on. So I'm going to ask, what's been helpful for us as we're currently in that water, the sea of navigating the grief of losing parents to death, my dad, and to disease. Your mom's.
So my mum's Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
so what's helped? I think one of the first place to start is the why question.
Yes.
And this is why is grief important?
That's a good question.
And I think this is an opportunity to validate grief as an important part of the human journey and an important emotion as well, because what I've come to discover, and I think we have, is that grief exists in the first place because whatever we've lost mattered to us.
Of course, yes.
So it's actually, Mum, your presence in my life mattered, and you're no longer here in the same way. And so that's painful. Dad, your presence in our life mattered, and you're not here anymore, and so that hurts. And then when it's a child, it's maybe it's even before the child was born, right? Maybe a miscarriage or a young child. It's, oh wow, your presence mattered. The fact that you were forming mattered, or a job, and I worked with colleagues and I loved them, and you lose that, it mattered. So
honoring
grief is, it's so important to acknowledge grief and validate that emotion, because grief exists because something mattered to us.
I love that.
And I think it's okay. It's actually okay to say, I'm hurting, I'm grieving because I've lost something that mattered. Yeah.
I love that. And I feel like we even need to pause, because grief hits couples in different ways. Grief hits the individual in the couple in a different way. So husband and wife deal with grief so differently. Depending on the situation and the loss and the grief and the marriage and what's left behind after grief has taken something or taken someone. And I think as we navigate our grief, 3 things stand out. Counseling, community, and perspective.
You didn't just mention the C word.
I went there. I mentioned the G word at the start, grief. Now I'm mentioning the C word,
counselling. I think a lot of the men watching this are going to start fidgeting now. It's like, no, this is a time to go make a cup of tea. You continue watching.
And the wives are like, sit down and listen.
I know, yeah, you got to be part of this.
Exactly.
You got to be part of this.
I've been trying to get you to understand this.
Yes, they said counselling.
But yes, counseling, let's go there. And actually, this is really crucial because November globally has been recognized as Movember, which is all about honoring and making space and opening up dialogue for men's mental health. So how crucial is that? And can we pause for a second and just talk about why traditionally is it difficult for men to admit that they need counseling and to actually even go for counseling?
Sure.
What would you say?
I mean, there are so many. There are so many reasons, right? Part of it is conditioning. You often hear the saying. In fact, we were at an event recently and we met with some friends of ours, and the guy was talking about it. The topic was inner critic, but the guy was talking about growing up. But that he was told, big men don't cry, right? Or just men, men don't cry. Boys don't cry. Just man up, tough it up, and
shut up.
What I want to, and when you then think of loss or pain, or if you cry, you're a wuss.
You're a sissy. You're a woman. Just, stop being a woman's blouse, they say.
And it's just, I think that what we're not saying here, by the way, is there's no strength in a man, because I think there is, and there are different ways. There are some ways that are unique in terms of how men grieve. It's fine for sometimes men want to just be involved in activity, and that's true, but there's also an important part, which is why we started off with the why is saying this mattered. Because it may be as simple as, and I think this was the case in the conversation, that this guy had an accident when he was young and so couldn't fulfill his football career.
Right.
But it was only recently he realized he held that as trauma because he was just told, get on with it.
Yes.
But actually that mattered. So it was important for him to grieve it and just say, wow, I'm not going to fulfill this career. And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay. Even if that grief is, hey, go punch a punching bag, right? Or
just the punching bag.
Just the punching bag.
Punch the bag.
But it's saying, hey, this hurts. This hurts. And that's okay. And for someone to hold that with you. So I think that's something that as men, we've typically had to deal with. I'm just going to push through.
Right.
Rather than, how do I process what's going on here?
Because become present to my grief.
Because it's a loss. And so for me, the first time it really hit was when we started navigating mum's loss. And there were some other things around it that I worked through, but that was the trigger. I just thought, no, this is tough. I've already grown up without a dad in my life. And mum was a real rock and anchor. And just to lose her to this was tough. That was tough. And so going for counseling was a great way of processing it and acknowledging that actually this is painful. And for men in particular, strength is really important for us. And what I've come to realize is that I'm actually stronger for being able to hold my pain and be present with my pain and the difficulty and the loss and the sadness as well as the strength of my ambition and focus and drive and all of that, and that vulnerability, because that's the other thing as well. Men are, hey, don't be vulnerable, right? Don't be.
It's weakness.
It's weakness. Actually, vulnerability is human.
Yes.
And I'm stronger when I can acknowledge that I'm made of strength and struggle.
And it's the and not the either or.
Yeah.
Either I'm strong or vulnerable. It could be I can be strong and vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to say, as your wife, looking in while you went for counseling, I was really grateful because there was language I didn't even have for what you were processing as mom was wrestling with, the effects of dementia. I was grateful that you had a safe space to process, to unravel, and to grieve well. So counseling is important. Whoever you are, it's crucial that you can do it as an individual and or as a couple. And the second thing, community. Grieving in community, healing in community has been noted as an incredibly profound and helpful way to grieve, to hold your grief. And for me, I'm currently going through grief recovery with a number of people, a small group of people who are also carrying and holding space for different types of grief. And I would say I've found it to be really helpful. Firstly, because just giving myself the permission to be present to my grief. Because we live in a society where it's on to the next thing, it's on to the next thing, it's on to the next thing. And you begin to feel like you're living like a robot, right?
Sure.
And making the time to pause and to be present to my grief in this group, grief recovery has helped me to notice, to take stock, to note and observe how the grief is affecting me and how I'm being affected by the grief. And I think it's important to note that different cultures deal with grief in different ways, right? And when Daddy died last year, we were struck by how there were pockets in our community of friendships that felt uncomfortable being in the grief journey with us.
Sure.
And felt this sense of, when you're better, we'll come round. We're just giving you space to process, and we're stepping out, and we'll step back in when you're okay and when you're well again. And I definitely realized that didn't work for me.
Sure.
And then we had other people who culturally do grief in community. They don't expect you to speak, but they will sit with you in your grief. And we had some really good friends in our community who sat with us in the grief, who cried with me, cried with us, who listened to stories, who came to share their own stories about how my father had impacted their life. And it was healing in the pain. So not only is counseling useful as an individual, but even going through grief recovery, a grieving process as a group in community brings its own type of healing.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to just build on two words there, the healing bit, and actually also the community in terms of other ways of exploring it. And because I think the healing, sometimes we think the healing means that we will ignore the loss.
Right.
And so we think, actually, I don't want to heal from this. So it's not like a wound where, hey, the wound heals and then it was as if there's no scar, nothing. Healing, actually, so healing means that we are, we grow. Yeah, we're processing, but not necessarily that we ignore the loss. So I think that's critical, and I'll come back to that later. But the other thing as well that I was thinking about was, especially when you talked about some people who didn't know how to be with us, even for me as a guy, before counseling, I was afraid of going to grief because I thought, what if I don't come back from it? Right? What if I don't come back? What if I get lost in the grief and lost in the pain? And I think that's one of the reasons why people shy away from it, because they think, oh, I'll get lost in it. But actually, you got to navigate the grief. You got to go through the grief in order to heal. And it means acknowledging it, being present with it. As we've said, it means saying, hey, this loss mattered. And that's what then helps you to move forward. Yeah.
Yes, that's crucial.
Yeah.
To hold that deeply in your heart, that this mattered. And as you were talking, I was reminded of a children's story that many parents and couples love, where they talk about how with certain things that are important, you can't go over it, you can't go under it, you can't go around it, you have to go through it. And grief, no doubt, is one of these things you have to go through.
Yeah.
The third one, we've talked about counselling, we've talked about community, perspective.
Yes, perspective. Perspective. I think this is, in a way, counselling and community, what they help give you is perspective.
Okay, say more.
So there was a book I read, one of the most famous models related to grief and loss is Kubler-Ross's grief cycle, and from just that denial and shock and pain to acceptance. But one of her students, a guy called David Kessler, he wrote a book, Finding Meaning. And Kubler-Ross's model has 5 elements. We'll put it in the show notes. But he said there's a 6th component, which is finding meaning through the loss. And that's where we're all trying to get to. That's what helps you heal through it. And he says 2 things, and I said I'd come back to the healing. 2 things. One is grief doesn't get smaller. We have to get bigger. Wow. And I think, especially when it's a loved one that you've lost, because it's easy to say with a job, we think, yeah, you know, I'm glad I moved on eventually. I got something better. But you never want to say, oh, I'm glad I lost a loved one. I got some. No, it's you never want them to get smaller, but you do have to get bigger and grow through it and become someone that can hold that loss but still navigate life. The other thing he says is healing doesn't mean the loss didn't happen. It means it no longer controls us. Wow. So it means that I can go out, I can see the world as a great place still, even though I've lost something that mattered to me. I can laugh, I can go out and play sports with friends and hang and chill with the girls and go to the cinema. Right, I can keep living because this loss hasn't controlled me. I've got perspective of it. So so I think perspective is really important part of navigating the loss. And
tied to perspective is also serving while grieving. I think there were definitely times, and there are still times, when I just want to be in bed. I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to read anything. I want to enclose myself in the pain of losing such a dear father. And I've also experienced that while grieving, serving others is also beneficial. It just does something. It unlocks something else that is quite tender and transformational on the grief journey. Because I think what a lot of people struggle with, and we have struggled with this, is you want the world to stop when you grieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, excuse me.
I've just lost something big right now.
Excuse me. Do you know what has just happened? How dare you keep going to work and trading and buying and selling? I know, and laughing. How dare
selling things, making money,
living life. Grief has happened. World, stop and grieve with me. And yet the world doesn't stop. And so there on the journey for me, learning to still live while grieving, to still serve while grieving helps with the perspective piece.
Sure does.
In the grief journey.
Yeah.
And alongside that, we've had some questions.
Yes.
Some listener questions. Thank you for engaging and wanting to be on this journey. And so let's go through some of those.
All right. So one here is, how do you deal with both individuals, so husband and wife, both in a season of grieving?
That's hard.
So how do you navigate that? Because if one person is like, hey, I'm strong, I can carry you, the other one's strong, carry me, but if you're both going through it, how do you deal with that?
That's tough. I think that is tough, and that's the season we're in. So what has helped you? That was cheeky. I just passed that back to you.
I think giving each other space. I remember vivid. I'm laughing, but it wasn't a funny moment, where I broke down one day in the bedroom, and I was just feeling the weight of the loss of mum, and you gave me space to do that, and which was helpful, really helpful. And sometimes you just say sorry, right? You don't try to, hey, let's work it. Oh, should we watch a movie? Let's try and detract from this or ignore it, but just say, yeah, sorry, and just allow me to feel it. So I think giving each other the space to feel it and to trust that it's an important part of the process.
Yeah.
Don't try and rush it.
I like that. I'd say what has helped, apart from space, is grace. Grace as each other navigates the journey differently. Because you can judge or you can be gracious. And by judging, I mean, you can say, but why are you dealing with it like that? But that's not the right way to deal with grief. And check me out. I'm dealing with it in the right way, in the appropriate time. Sure. Oh, I'm over it. But I think grace is just a friend who notices and allows what needs to happen and the time that needs to be spent to be.
Yeah.
So space and grace.
Space and grace.
While you're both navigating grief. There was another question.
Well, this is, what have we most needed from each other when we've been going through
that's a
and
good
some
one.
of it we've said. I think, like I said, you allow me to be in it, and also pulling other people in as well. So there have been moments where you've reached out to some of my buddies and said, hey, he needs you now.
Right.
Knowing that you can't give it all.
Yeah. And I'm not meant to.
Yeah.
Don't think in that. What have I needed? An embrace. We've said space. We've said grace. Embrace. Sometimes a hug can speak louder than words. Not being hurried through the grief journey.
Quick.
Yeah, just allowing it to be. And I would say sharing memories about this person we've loved.
Yeah.
Not, like, oh, this is a hard topic, so let's push it under the carpet. But no, it's part of our lives. Like, oh, Daddy would love that. Daddy would be the first to wish us happy anniversary. For our upcoming anniversary. Yeah. Mom, remember when Mom used to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Mom's cooking, Mom's hospitality. We make these people we love and have loved such a part of our lives. We just, they're there. They're with us. Yeah. So that is helpful.
Indeed.
And has helped.
Indeed.
Grief.
Good indeed.
Grief.
And usually at this point, we would have a spin the wheel.
Yeah.
But in honor of the things that we have lost that mattered, we are not going to spin the wheel.
No, we're
this
not.
Time. It'll be back next time.
Yeah. I think we're giving space to a topic that is heavy and to a topic that has led to so much heartache and heartbreak. and to a topic that many of you are navigating currently, or have just navigated, or will navigate. So I've written something special called Space, Grace, Embrace. Grief is a giving, but is it a gift? Your loss and trauma are real, not as fun as spinning the wheel. May you find the space, create the space, make the space, take the space to connect with your grief. May you give each other space to walk, crawl, or stand tall in your grief phase. May you keep pace with each other in this place. May you find grace in your grief. Savor it like an embedded belief. May you gain ground in your grief. Break new ground, toil new soil. In your grief, may you be present and find within it a present, a gift, not a rift, that tears you apart. May you embrace in your grief, even though you feel the shift and the sift and sense a growing rift. May your grief guide you to gain, not lose or abuse or light a dangerous fuse. May your grief keep your heart tender. May it soften in the soil and not harden in the fire. May you find kind language when you're at a loss for words. In your grief, may love locate you. May tenderness teach you. May compassion console you. May you have your say. May you find your way, day by day, in you, me, and we. May you stay. Space, grace, embrace, to grieve, to give, to cleave.
Nice. That was a good one.
Thank you.
So, you may want to rewind and listen to that again. How's that for perspective? But thank you for being with us. Our time together on this penultimate episode.
Episode 11.
Season 1 is almost here. So please do subscribe.
Like and share.
Email us. Our details, contact will be in the show notes.
Send questions. Comments. We love hearing how you're engaging with us and how what we're sharing is helping to move you forward to thriving together in all seasons of life.
Until next time.
The
highs and the lows, may the force be with you.
May you savor your spark, and in your grief, may it burn bright. See you soon.
Ciao.
See you.